Alright boys, it's the end of the month, meaning I gotta prep you guys for what's gonna be coming to the NA version of the game in the month of June, and spoiler alert, I don't think we'll see Castoria in June. That's a bit of a controversial opinion, but we're kind of all out of whack right now, because one thing that threw us off was the fact that the interlude campaign right here, as you guys can see, for JP, it came out after the Summer 4 rerun, but for us it came out before. We got this a bit earlier, and it seems like they're trying to speed run into the anniversary, which this causes a little bit of concern for me, not because of the Seraph event or the Oko event right here. It's this swimsuit campaign right here. This is an absolute filler campaign. Nobody should summon on this. It is like one of the worst banners they've ever put out. It is like just asking you to be a big dummy dum-dum and throw your Saint Quartz away, because it's like, even if you don't want to save that hard for Castoria, which you should be doing, I mean, you literally have like Kama and the BB girls like all over here, right? You have all the Sakura faces you could ever want, and they're coming out like right after. So it's like you're literally just throwing your Saint Quartz into a dumpster fire for no reason summoning on this. But we got this on JP because this was a filler banner, right? Like, not a whole lot was happening during this week, and as you guys can see, it lasted 14 days. But what I'm thinking is that if we get this, we won't see anniversary till like beginning of July, right? Because this is like a 14-day campaign. This combined, this leads into Oko. This is 21 days. Even if this starts early on into this, you know, we may not see anniversary till like very, very late June or the beginning of July, right? It just kind of depends on how they want to do things. But it seems like Lysengo wants to push things along. Like, they seem to be trying to speed up the production of the game quite a bit. I mean, that's why they were like, oh, we can fit the interlude campaign like up in here instead of having some weird dead week. Let's have content going. And if you guys have kind of noticed, they're trying to still do that. Even on the JP version of the game, it seems like it's a little bit more dead, but at least every day they're putting out like some Constantine related daily mission. They're at least trying to do something so that there's always a reason to log into the game, right? They're always trying to put out some extra content, right? Which I'm giving them props for. That being said, I don't know if we're actually going to get this campaign. This, I think, is a bit questionable. They either might push it back till after anniversary, or they might just not do it for us at all. Because you got to understand, when DW did this, this was kind of like one of those last-minute Hail Mary tactics to try to get some Saint Quartz out of people, because they knew that Castoria was coming out, but we didn't, right? Because we never know what the anniversary unit's going to be, so we kind of always are flying in blind. But we as NA players know that this banner is like not worth summoning on at all. Like, there's no leeway in between this and then it's just a murderer's row of banners, because you have the Sakura faces, you have Kama, Castoria, then Summer 5, which, I mean, whether you think these servants are like meta breaking or not, you know, you guys know that I'm like, I think Summer Kiara is very good, but I rate her at like an AA+. Even if you think she's like S tier, they're still very popular characters, right? Like, they're still good, whether you think they're just like a little overhyped or they're insane, right? Like, I think Kiara's absolutely like pretty good, not broken, but very strong. But am I going to summon for her? Maybe. It's Kiara, dude. I love Kiara, right? So it's like, maybe I might summon for that. Summer Tomoe, I mean, you guys know I got my Tomoe grailed on my NA version, so I'm probably going to summon for Saber Tomoe. It's just a murderer's row of banners, right? And then, like, Chi Shi Huang comes back around. Then we have the Lotto event dropping. Skahawk, a very, very popular servant. Himiko comes out. Okita, I mean, I don't know how popular Okita isn't compared to Skahawk. I know Skahawk's supremely popular and Okita's kind of popular, but you guys get what I'm saying? It's still like a relatively popular character. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, the end of the year is just like insane, but particularly the banners that follow this are all supremely hyped. Like, these are all banners that everybody's wanting to summon on. I mean, in particular, I've seen so many comments from people debating on how much Saint Quartz they want to use on Kama, because Kama is just that popular, right? Even though Kama literally comes out 2 weeks before Castoria. You are right on the deadline for saving for Castoria, and people are still like, ooh, I don't know, like, can I throw a multi or two at Kama? Like, can I try to summon for her? Because she's just that popular, right? And it's like, it's those reasonings, right? And they know that we know that they know that we know, right? Like, it's one of those situations, right? So it's like, are they going to still put this out, or are they going to try to shotgun it in the middle of this event? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the second half of this event, they also shotgun this banner out, or they save it for when, like, this drops, right? Or maybe they drop it during anniversary or something, right? Because it doesn't have the same impact that it did when this was all brand new stuff on JP, because the great thing about NA is that we have foresight, we have knowledge, we know what's coming, right? So this is like the huge point of contention. Once Las Vegas ends and we either get or don't get this banner, we should know pretty much immediately when Castoria is coming out. We will know like objectively when she's coming out, because if we do get this and it's going to be the same 14-day campaign, we know that all this stuff's going to follow. We know Castoria is probably going to be like maybe like second week of July, right? At the absolute latest. But if we don't get this, it might be Castoria drops at the end of June, right? Like, it might be really, really insane. Like, it actually might be pretty crazy. So we have to see what they're going to do. This originally, if I remember correctly, dropped in the middle of this week. So that also may speed things along if they do that same thing, because this was pretty much like just a nothing week. Like, when this dropped, there was just absolutely nothing to do. I remember being just supremely bored playing JPFGO at that time. But then, yeah, we were talking about this, but then this is going to be the part where you got to stay strong. If you want to summon for Castoria and you really, really want Castoria, you know, you got to skip on these banners. You want all the Saint Quartz you got. But I mean, then again, I was the guy that summoned for Berserker Musashi. Like, I used all my savings for Berserker Musashi. I can kind of explain because I don't have a good arts AoE servant to use. I don't have Space Ishtar. So I was like, well, I kind of need to get Musashi to have someone to use when I get Castoria, because your boy's getting Castoria, right? That's any part of the discussion. I'm not doing this, you know, 2 years of no Scotty. I'm not doing this 1 year of no Castoria, right? We're not going through this again. I'm not going through the hardship of FGO without the premium servant, bro. They're not sending me back to the gulags, man. They're not doing it. Not this time. All right, I'm preventing that at all costs. So that's why I went for Berserker Musashi. But the thing is that, like, if you have Scotty, especially, it's really hard to resist these banners, because Melt and Kama are just chef's kiss with Scotty. Like, if you can double Scotty them up, they just tear bosses apart. They're just both super insane. They're actually dummy broken. They're so good. King Prote is very fun to use. I don't think she's super, like, meta-defining, like, very insanely good, but she is very fun to use, right? If you can get her stacks kind of going, very, very fun to use, as you just have, like, a big Bingus that can't be destroyed, like, at all, and she just sits there and just punches just the crap out of the enemies, right? It's really fun. Protea is unfortunate, and Suzuka's okay. Kiara, obviously very, very broken once you get her to higher NP copies, which I can now personally attest for, as my JP went from NP1 Kiara to, after GSSR, NP3 Kiara. So I can kind of attest that the NP copies do make Kiara one of the most broken servants in the game, right? Which is just like very, very hard to tell people to not summon, because Castoria is really, really good. I would say she's like my #1 unit in the game. Like, she's the best unit in the game. The meta she facilitates is very friendly to, like, all players, because, you know, even if I didn't get Berserker Musashi, I could use some of the other, like, art servants I had in my box. I could make do, right? Especially because there's good free-to-play options that will come out, right? You have, like, Habitrod that'll come out, and she's really, really good with Castoria. So it's like, you can kind of get by if you don't have, like, the premium Berserker Musashi or Space Ishtar, people like that. And then when Avenger Kama comes out, she's also in that list of, like, exclusive, really, really good servants to use with Castoria. But if you don't get, like, it's fine. She's very, very forgiving with her meta, but it's hard to tell people to not summon for these units. Like, it's especially hard if they're just like, I just want to throw, like, a multi or two. And if you have the self-restraint to only go, like, a multi or two, then by all means, you know, go ahead, because I'm not going to stop you. But it's like, if you're one of those guys and you're like, I'm only going to do, like, 2 multis for Kama, and then you do 2 multis and you don't get it, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll do 1 more, then you are probably going to burn through all of your savings, and be very, very careful, right? Because, like, they're designed to steal all of your Saint Quartz, okay? Like, the reason they were put here in front of the anniversary was to rob the last bits of your Saint Quartz, okay? So it's like, Castoria is coming very soon. She's either going to be here at the very tail end of June, like last week, and at the latest, probably second week of July, unless we just get some absolutely insanity stuff going on. I've heard some theories that people think that they're just going to shotgun Castoria right here in this slot, beginning of June. I don't know if they're going to do that, because I can't see them not taking advantage of how good this is, right? This right here, very good for making people like burn their Saint Quartz before Castoria comes out, because as I've said, Kama, Kiara, Melt, I mean, even like the Passion Lips, not very good in game, but people still summon for her specifically, me included. Like, I summoned to get Passion Lip just because I wanted to have the Sakura faces, and I don't use her very much, but I have her leveled, you know, I have her all leveled up and everything. It's just I'm like waiting for a buff or something for her to be good, but it's just like, either save for Castoria or try to just conserve your Saint Quartz as much as possible, because this is going to really hurt. But main thing, Castoria, I've said it like a few times, she should be coming out very, very soon. Don't know if it's going to be June, but stay strong, my brothers. Castoria is very, very good, very much worth the wait. It's just, we're kind of all looking at Lasengel being like, well, buddy, ball is in your court. What are you going to do? Are you going to subject us to this weird, like 2-week long, just absolute garbage banner or not? What are you going to do, buddy? And I cannot stress this enough. If they do put this banner out here, I don't want to see a single person summon on it. I will drop another video being like, if you summon on this banner, you are a big dummy dumbhead. I don't care if you do one ticket and you get Nero Caster. That was one ticket you could have used for Castoria down here, and that was one ticket that like you got Giga lucky on. You spent all the luck on that Nero Caster, all right? You want to save all that luck, all them tickets for Castoria, all right? I think I've covered everything. I think I have like preached about what's gonna happen for FGO for like the last 10 minutes. So I think we're good. I think we all get the message. You guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe. I hit you guys with that daily FGO content, so you know, just a little bit of support for the channel, always very good. We're very close to 20k. I am still giga ecstatic about hitting it. So, you know, let's hit 20k, then let's hit 100k, then 1 million, and then I'm taking PewDiePie's play button or something. I don't know. Wouldn't that be funny? But anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have just a nice day. Peace, late, guys.